49. The last president inaugurated in the United States. The span of terrible days after the global comms blackout when the world was reshaped. The number of strange supernatural phenomena that appear around the globe. You're listening to The 49, the new series by Andrew Kooman. Get the content right in your inbox when you subscribe at the49.substack.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Welcome to the world of The 49.
Boyer assessed her situation. Fight or flight. Is there another option? She wasn't bound, but technically she was their prisoner. There were two of them, one of her. They outweighed her by 50 pounds each, easy. She could hold her own in a fistfight, but it needed to be fair, or she needed a knife. An AR-15 would be okay with her too. The ones from her transport were within reach, but it'd require a scuffle to get one. The twins, smartly, placed them near the wall out of her reach and stood between her and the rifles as they whispered out a plan. The weapons were coded to her fingerprints for this trip. She had a security clearance that allowed her access to the lethal weapons on FAW's drops to defend the corridor against this very thing. She was failing miserably so far. The pain was a faint memory. Boyer felt clear-headed. She wasn't unfamiliar with dangerous situations or confined spaces. You ride the beast from Guatemala to the border as a kid and land in Hobema with a gang's mark burnt into your skin. I'm sure you can lead a small group. The bishop's words made her smile. He always had a way of cutting through the inner doubts she thought she hid so well to reorient her perspective. You survived el Tren de la Muerte, he often reminded her. You can do anything. Boyer noticed the whispering stopped and looked up. Joyride was smiling back at her. You having a good time? He asked. Hostage situations bring out the best in me. It definitely changes our plans, Foxtrot mused. He wasn't smiling. We don't want trouble. At this she laughed. At least not with you. Not with a FAW's mule. Is that what you call us? Boyer had to laugh again. I like it. Drug mule turned FAW's mule. I can see the headline on my obituary in Truth Surge. They would love that. We don't want to write your obituary, Foxtrot said. It's a good idea, though, Joyride interjected. What is? Sell her story to TS. They love that stuff. We could buy more protein bars. Despite herself, she liked these guys. Her gut told her they were friends, and not really a threat. Fight, flight, friendship. She'd keep her options open. So what was the plan? The drones, Foxtrot admitted, without any hesitation at the disclosure. What's the play? Boyer asked, pushing. We tell you that, and we do have to kill you, Joyride said. The drones were the play, and that's as much as we know at our pay grade. The general has a plan. Of side 6? Boyer asked, fascinated. The legend himself. Boyer whistled. So he's still alive. That was his resurrection announcement. Things about to get real. You're telling me, Boyer said, her smile gone. There will never be an end to the fighting. Will there? She looked up and blushed. Embarrassed, she asked the question out loud. Who was I asking? She thought to herself. The twins' faces were unreadable. They seemed to stare somewhere far away. Everyone had memories of peace, and if not peace, hope for a memory of it someday. They were young enough this may be the only world they'd known, Boyer thought. Get back or die trying were our orders. It was Foxtrot who broke the silence. Fight, flight. But we didn't expect this. Maybe there's always a third option. You're a high-value cap, Joyride admitted, his smile disarming. But we can't do anything to risk the mission. And your body armor has got to have some sort of beacon that will lead them right to you, Foxtrot added, at the words. She instinctively held a hand over the breastplate. They were right. The woman over the comms had said as much. They'll find you in no time with that on. Please, remove it. Boyer nodded and slipped out of the Kevlar. The meds masked the pain, but it was an awkward movement to shrug out of the plated vest. She dropped it to the ground. Foxtrot walked over to it, easy eyes never leaving her, and picked it up. He stood from where he crouched and disappeared into the tunnel that was across from them. High alert, Joyride, he said, as he disappeared into the shadows on the other side of the chamber, like he walked through a wall. Where is he going? Boyer asked. One-on-one. Possible. He'll be right back, Joyride said. This is when I'd make my move too, he said, and unclipped the safety on his rifle. But I respectfully request that you don't. Why not? We like you. You seem more like our people. Boyer looked toward the rifles. She shifted her weight from her heels to her toes, an almost indecipherable motion, but Joyride noticed. Don't. Fight. Flight. Friend. Before she could determine her course, Foxtrot reemerged from the black shadow and stepped toward the naked light bulbs. He had been running. He felt along the wire from where it hung a few feet until his hand stopped. He pulled at some duct tape to reveal a detonator. Grab the guns, he said. She can carry the first aid kit. Don't straggle. In a few quick movements, Joyride had the rifles over the shoulder. Their backpacks were on their shoulders, and Boyer held the first aid kit in her hands. Got your lip balm? Joyride asked with a wink. Foxtrot hit the detonator hard with his palm, and the button compressed. Move, he yelled. But they were all running already, in the direction they came. Through the tunnel, back toward the crumpled convoy their militia had firebombed. This is your plan, Boyer asked in the darkness, a question answered by the muffled sound of the explosives, as if a giant airplane was taking off underground. Move, move, move. Was it her voice or the boys yelling? She couldn't tell. Dirt and rocks fell on them from all directions. Her body pummeled as a tremor pushed her forward and off her feet. They were out of the tunnel now, covered, blinded by dirt, by the bright sky. As they got their bearings, they realized they were surrounded by armored corridor droids, each with a Fido at their side. Boyer's heart dropped as she looked at the twins. She didn't want this for either of them. Without thinking, she stepped between them and the drone's arms extended, palms open. I'm a citizen of Corridor West, she pleaded. They'd know, but she wanted no confusion. When Boyer looked back at the twins, both had already laid down their weapons and stood, smiling. Joyride winked at her. Do not move, the lead droid said, its voice the familiar, slightly altered sound of the governor. As the droid stepped toward the twins, Boyer heard Foxtrot whisper to his brother, stick to the plan.
Thanks for listening to this portion of The 49 by Andrew Kooman. New content drops for paid subscribers every Monday at the49.substack.com. That's the49.substack.com. On Tuesdays, we release new audio on all your favorite podcast platforms. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you subscribe and to share it with a friend. Thanks for listening to The 49.